And we start by inserting the bolster to take pressure off of the feet and the low back. This isn't necessary for every client. In fact, some prefer not to have it, but for 95% of clients, you will use it. We start with nice, gentle pressure walking down the back. As a general rule of thumb, never start on the glutes, unless they specifically ask for a focus there. You may send the wrong impression. Right now, we're just saying hello. The most important aspect of massage is making the client feel safe so they can receive the work. If you go too fast or too deep, they will start to resist the work. The client has her hands on a hand rest that I bought off of Amazon, but the client doesn't have to have their hands in this position. Most have their arms to their sides, and some have their forearms hanging off the sides of the table. All of these are fine. And right now I'm focused on relieving pressure at the base of the spine, and I'm putting nice, gentle, yet firm pressure going downward and forward at the same time. And then we walk back up the spine with small circular petrissage thumb pressures. You want to make sure not to overuse your thumbs. It's the easiest, most dexterous part of our body, but if you overuse them, you can blow them out, so just be careful. And now we flip the hands around and you do more of a undercling, pinchy motion. So you are using pressure with the fingers as well as the thumbs in a wax on, wax off kind of motion. And on the neck here, this is also a pinch. You're using equal pressure with the thumb and the fingers, but it's more of a ringing motion. It's not like a Indian burn, as that's more of a frictioning of the skin, like you're moving up and down the dry skin. But with this, we're keeping the same spot on the skin, but moving underneath to affect the muscle, not the skin. And now we do a raking motion up the occipital base of the skull. And this is a sliding across the skin, but you want to do it very slow, gentle, and firm. And then transition that into some circular motions. But don't just do circles at an even pressure. Always put more emphasis on one side of the circle and then a release on the other side, kind of like a wave going in and out. Continuing the circular motions, you can go up and start to affect every area of the head. Like, be very thorough to just make sure that you touch every aspect of it. You can take very firm pressure with the head, but don't be aggressive, but the head can take very firm pressure. And close out the head with some pets. Now it's a raking motion, but it's much lighter, and if you got nails, use them. And this is a wax on, wax off petrissage with the thumbs. It's about a medium pressure, and you're going to cover everywhere within that little valley in between the scapula and the spine. It's good to think about massage as a performance art. You want to dance with the moves a little bit. Don't be too robotic. You want to be smooth and flowy. Moving on to the scapula, aka shoulder blade. We're doing the same kind of petrissage movements. It's very slow, it's methodical, and pay attention to anything that feels like a speed bump. Place pressure on that statically. Just compress on it and rest, kind of like a pressure release valve. And then slowly release, and then continue the petrissage. And give the lats a little bit of love too. And then create soft fists along the spine by letting the fingers just hang loosely. The closed fist is much harder. So we'll do that up and down. You can do, it's just like the wax on, wax off motion. But then sometimes do both fists at the same time and then go back to wax on, wax off. This is the dance. You're making it entertaining. Be very careful not to hit the spine. Use your thumb if you need to just verify where it's at. But if you hit your knuckle along the spine, or if you hit any bone on bone at any time, that is horrible for massage. So don't only verify where the spine is, but also where the pelvis is. This is where the butt or glute muscles are attached to. So you'll go down just far enough to where you're right above the pelvis. And now we move on to the glutes. And again, we're doing the same thing. It's that wax on, wax off, kind of like kitties whenever they're making biscuits on your clothes. It's very easy. Once you get the hang of this, you realize that we're doing pretty much the same thing for every body part. And right here is very similar to how the shoulder blade was. We're going right in between that valley, in between the spine and the hip, rather than the shoulder blade and the spine. Moving down to the hamstrings, we're going to do that same wax on, wax off motion. Stay away from the genitalia, and unless it is your intimate partner, you want to stay about at least a fist, maybe even 2 fists away. Some people, you might even be better just not even going halfway up the leg when it comes to the inner thigh. And now a ringing motion where you're pinching with the thumb and fingers. You grab hold and then stretch out the muscle in more of a circular fashion, and then go back down, grab again, and do it in that similar wax on, wax off motion, but you're doing more of a pinching. And you can pinch either in between the thumb and fingers or in between the palm and fingers, and kind of interchange between them both to give variety. As you're gliding across the upper side of the body, you want to avoid 3 landmarks.